Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another Chicago Beer Pass Cellar Raid. So, Nick, I found this beer. I actually have 2 bottles of this beer.
Really?
In my fridge at home. And it's been one of those beers that have been sitting there for a long time. I haven't wanted to drink it. I've needed a reason for it, I guess, because it was kind of like one of those whale of a beers, or related to the whale of a beers, like Black Albert is one that people may know or may not, but this is The Truth Can Set You Free.
From, I assume it's from the Struise, because Black Albert is made by the Struise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it says on here, Black Albert was used in a new barrel aging project more than a year ago. And yeah, this is just kind of another version of that, or I could read this whole thing, but it's pretty long, and I don't need to do that on here because we need to drink.
Now, what I did notice is that this is the 2009 vintage, and it says best before July 2015.
Okay.
So we were just a little off.
Yeah. So the other one I also have is 2009. So I would have brought both if one would have been like a 8 or a 10, and we could kind of see how they compare. But that I have another basically possibly bad beer sitting in my fridge does not excite me to drink it.
It's interesting, man, because it says that we're gonna name it Four Black Roses, like as an ode to the barrel they got it from.
Right.
And then it says Four Roses urged them strongly not to do that. So they called it Cuvée Delphine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or The Truth Shall Set You Free.
Oh, right on. I could dig it, man. I've never heard of this beer.
Okay.
2009, I was probably drinking, what was I drinking in 2009? I was probably drinking Sam Adams and Modelo.
Okay. We got a little psst from it, so that's a good sign. I recently saw someone drinking this on Twitter.
Really?
Or on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I have one of these.
Reminded you.
I need to drink it. And I was like, all right, I'll bring this in. Nick and I will give it a try and see what's happening. So this has basically been in my fridge since 2009. So it's been properly, or even colder than it probably should be.
I'm impressed, man, that you can keep stuff. Do you have like multiple fridges or something? Or?
No, it's just like on like a shelf. There's a few beers in there that are like barley wines or old ales or 13% stouts that are like, that's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I'm not drinking that by myself.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do if it's good? And this beer was probably like $10 in 2009 when I bought it. So what, I'm gonna open this and be like, yeah, that's good, but I'm just gonna dump it out.
It's interesting, man. Yeah. And then what size bottle is this anyway, man?
It kind of looks like the same bottles, the 12, as the New Belgium stuff, right? Well, it says it's a 33, what, CL? I forget what CL is.
I suck at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not our ounces.
Yeah, where's my ounces? What do you mean it's not a pound? How much is it? What is it then?
So this actually smells really good.
Yeah, it's got some good integrity on it. There's still a nice little chocolate milk head on it right there, chocolate milk colored head. Yeah.
But you get the bourbon, the chocolate roast going on, a little like sour oxidized kind of smell, but not the like malt and bourbon kind of overpower what's happening.
Yeah,
here.
you get the chocolate malt ball, and then you get the good amount of booze on the nose.
Could be surprised here. Let's see. Okay. It's thin. Take a couple sips, get our palate. Oh, man, this feels boozy. Like, I feel like I just got kicked in the ass here, like on the booze level.
It's thin, but it's creamy, and then it is rather boozy.
Yeah.
Everything's still kind of playing together well. You know, there's a nice bitter chocolate finish, but it's not too far after that bitter chocolateness kicks in that you get a nice whack of booze.
Right. Like,
nice whack of booze with this thing, man.
What's really weird is you often hear people like who hang on to their beer. They're like, oh, it's too boozy. I want that to mellow out.
Yeah.
This did the complete opposite, where the booze came through more. Like everything else kind of has fallen out of this beer.
Yeah, the the bitterness in it is kind of reminiscent of like a herbal, like a noble hop. You know how they don't do citrus hops at all really in some of those German beers.
Right.
So it's reminiscent of that. But yeah, I actually kind of dig the bitter chocolate booziness of it. Yeah.
And it says the ingredients are strictly water, barley, hops, sugar, and yeast. So there's no like weird chocolate in here, no cacao nibs,
Yeah.
no coffee. It's just, that roasted malt and barley.
It's how things used to be before you put prepared food in beer. That's the latest trend, right? Before that, you would try to, replicate or emulate flavors from all across the spectrum, but just using those 4 ingredients.
Yeah.
Right. And it's cool to see that we're getting that. This is what beer used to be. It reminds me of the old days.
Yeah. Man, I'm kind of.
I've never heard of this beer, Brad.
I'm surprised that it's held up. So I'm kind of blown away that one, it tastes decent.
Yeah. Especially after 2009, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking damn near a decade.
Right.
Nice.
I still have that other one. I guess I'll just keep hanging on to it because, again, it's not a beer I want to drink by myself or alone. Come back in another 5 years on it and be like, is it still? What's happening in this?
And don't get me wrong, man. There's some oxidation in there, but overall, man, I think it held up pretty well. And Black Albert is famously 2 Black Albert stories. The Pipeworks guys, they actually they interned with the Struise in Belgium.
Okay.
And that's how they got their start, right? That was the first major brewery they worked at. But then also, Three Floyd's anniversary beer, I want to say maybe at this point, maybe their 10th anniversary beer, Baller Stout. It was famously a blend of 4 different beers, Surly Darkness, Dark Lord,
Black Albert.
And then what was that last one? McKellar, Beer Geek Brunch.
Beer Geek Brunch, yeah.
From McKellar, yeah. So that party for that beer that had Black Albert in it was the same day as Fobab that year.
Okay.
So everybody went from the Plumbers Hall and shot down to Munster to party at night.
Damn.
At Munster.
I think I do remember that. And I don't know if I ever had the Baller Stout, but I know on the Hopcast we drank Black Albert. And I remember Ken getting a bottle and him having it at some beer place. And so when we came across this as a kind of version of Black Albert, we were saving a couple bottles and we just never did it.
Yeah. I thought Baller Stout was a stupid name, but when they all got blended together, it was pretty special. I remember doing a Three Floyds dinner at Whole Foods back when Juan Kim was a chef at Whole Foods, and Lincoln, he brought some bottles from his, because this is at a Whole Foods dinner is probably 20 people.
Yeah.
So he just brought bottles of Baller Stout from his personal collection to share with us, and basically this same base beer, different barrel, was part of that Baller Stout.
Nice.
So Black Albert and 4 Roses barrels. I dig 4 Roses.
Yeah, you do.
That's my jam. I think their baseline offering, the $19 offering, as good as any whiskey out there. So,
cool. If you have a bottle of 2009, The Truth Will Set You Free, sitting around, still in your fridge, probably drink it. The other one I have, I may just hang on to it, or I may pull it out for someone else that has seen this or wants to try it, but drink it. It's not getting any better, right?
It's on its way out, but if you drink it right now, it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel great.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, cool. I'm glad we opened this one up. There's always misses when you cellar beer because beer is just not really made to be cellared. So, yeah. But happy here. Cheers.
Cheers.